We can all see the rise in popularity in crochet lately, and frankly, it's awesome. The concept of more people having fun, crafting, creating art is wonderful. What I don't like, and I'm guilty of this too, is how collecting yarn became the hobby. At first it was because I liked the color. I had ideas for the specific colors, and it quickly spiraled into, oh my goodness, I don't have this yarn, I need it. It became an addiction, an obsession even. I saw a color I didn't have and I had to get it. This is a bigger problem with consumerism and social media. I'm not gonna get into the psychology of it all right now, as I'm not really qualified to do that, but we're just human. I'm not shaming you if you buy lots of yarn to display, or if this is your job and you need to keep stock. That's totally chill. Whatever works for you. Currently, having a ton of yarn is not working for me. Not just because of the money that it costs to buy and collect a bunch of yarn, but also because of space and waste. Two things that I want to be mindful about overall. So let's start with assessing the yarn that we do have. And then the rest of the video will be making stuff, so grab a project, maybe a nice cozy drink, and come work along with me. All right, so I have gathered all of my yarn into this pile, essentially, and this needs to get done ASAP because I want to put my yarn into these bins and into that shelf as soon as I can. Well, it's all in this pile except for what's there, so we'll go through this pile first and this stuff. All together now. Okay, this is all the yarn. And there's more in that bag. So let's open that bag and see what we've got there. So basically I've got them mostly separated. Most of my yarn is cotton, and most of it is Lily Sugar and Cream. So this whole group here is cotton. Then I've got pretty much all my variegated yarns in this little pile right here, minus the cones. So the handful of cones that I have are all right here. Then this bin over here are like my chenille, like fuzzy yarns. So that's all in this bin. Here I have pretty much my acrylic slash any blend yarn. Like this yarn is mostly cotton, but it is a blend with a little bit of acrylic and wool. So this is the blend basket. And then this little container here is pretty much mostly my scraps, which I'll eventually also go through and separate into cotton and non-cotton so I can do something with the scraps. Okay, next I'm going to take a look at what's in here. Oh, lovely. Okay, so these I actually bought to make a blanket, which I do still want to do. I want to make a baby blanket for my niece, so I will set that aside. And then these are also going to be variegated cotton. I've got some of this Simply Soft Speckle, which I actually specifically used for a cardigan that's a work in progress, so I'm going to set this aside just in case I need it. This Bernat Velvet yarn, which I was going to use for making scrunchies, similar to all the other velvet yarn, but I didn't like it very much for that. We'll see, maybe I'll make like a pillow or something out of this, would be a good idea. There's this thicker Juicy Couture yarn. It's really pretty, it's really nice. Maybe this would also be good for a pillow. I would just have to be careful with yarn chicken because this is the only skein I've got and it is ugly. I gotta do something with this. Beautiful, gorgeous, like deep green, mossy green color. There's really anywhere that you can buy Juicy Couture anymore, so I'll have to see what can I do with this. Ah, yes, the failed scrunchie. It was okay, but yeah, kind of like where you cut it, it just like peels off a lot in an ugly way. So yeah, didn't love that. Oh, wonderful. The last thing in here is this baby blanket yarn. Overall, my main goal is to get rid of at least 50% of this yarn. Actually, ooh, one more thing to show you. Okay, one more thing. I did get gifted this box that has some acrylic yarn in it. I don't love the material specifically for wearables, so I have been making some crochet flowers, like roses out of these, and I think that's what I'm going to continue doing with this yarn. Yeah, it's got lots of colors in there, but like I said, I don't really use acrylic yarn for myself. If anything, I'll use it in like a scrap something. And this bin over there is actually my completed projects, which we're not concerned about for today. So I personally, as you can see, have mostly cotton yarn. It is my preferred yarn, especially lately for wearables. It's breathable, it's natural, just has everything that I like. But clearly I went a little overboard in picking my color range. At least I personally think I might have done a little bit too much here, so I want to plan some projects to get rid of them. Basically just take stock. So I think what I want to start with is taking a photo of all this cotton yarn, this like plain cotton yarn that's on my floor. So I'm going to take a picture of that now, and then I'm going to try and get that cleaned up so then I can look through and organize the rest of it into the bins so they can get put away, because I'm tired of it living on my floor. But if I have a picture, we can quickly check and see what we got going on. While I am rearranging my yarn here and putting it away, I did want to kind of chat a little bit about my journey with crochet over the last year. So crocheted when I was younger. I learned how to crochet actually in middle school, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool that my school had like extracurriculars like that, unique ones. I really didn't make much when I was younger and in crochet. I was mostly like just learning basic stitches and stuff. I think it was 2024 that I picked it back up again, and I did it a lot last year, 2025, like a lot. And this resulted in me trying a lot of different things, doing like crochet flowers, crochet like accessories, like kind of keychainy type things, as well as some wearables like bandanas and such. But then the end of this year, so in October, I made my first actual like full wearable, a sweater I made for myself for my, well, it was kind of like a birthday gift to myself, not necessarily for my birthday, but that was pretty cool. And I have yet to sew in the ends, so maybe I'll do that in this video. That would be pretty cool. I was getting into the craft and the hobby of crocheting, but eventually like buying yarn became part of the hobby itself, which I'll be honest, I don't love that that happened. I really don't. I was definitely just over consuming for the sake of it, and because I had a job that let me thankfully have disposable income, I think I just felt the need to collect and look for yarn that I thought I would enjoy just because it was a pretty color rather than, you know, actually having a plan in mind to use it. So that's kind of the biggest difference for me for this year is I want to be a little bit more mindful and purposeful with my yarn and my crafting overall. So I will be changing quite a few things with my cotton yarn. I think I'm going to focus on wearables for myself, like making things that I would actually want to wear and enjoy wearing, as well as perhaps making gifts throughout the year. I do enjoy hand making gifts always, and I think it would be a good way for me to use yarn that maybe I don't personally like as much, or that I just want to focus on getting rid of a little bit more. So there are certain colors that I have a lot of, like this pink here. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna go about this. Like, maybe I could just stack it all here and then I can see all this color in the corner. But essentially the colors that I have a lot of, like this pink, I'm not sure if it really suits my skin color. I don't think the lighting is doing me much justice. Yeah, I don't know if this is really my color, but things that I have a lot of, maybe I can make like a little set or something else to kind of like use it, like a mesh sweater or something. I don't know. Just thinking out loud right now. And then there's a lot of colors that I don't have that much of, so I'm going to try and combine them into accessories like hats and scarves, probably with the cotton, mostly like summer hats, like bucket hats and stuff, and then kind of like thinner early spring, late fall type of scarf, like more fashion style. I'll show you what I mean in a moment because I actually did make one and I already have a pattern that I found that was pretty fun and other ones that I might want to try. My stash very much heavily leans into the blues and purples, as you can tell, and those being my favorite colors. I do think that I'm going to focus on blues and purples for like wearables for myself and then try and combine other colors. So I'm not quite sure how to organize it into here. I think I'm just going to throw them all in here as organized as I can. Maybe I should look through the... Okay, I'm going to stop asking and just start doing before I confuse myself more. Okay, I'm gonna look through this scrap bin a little bit and see if there's anything I can ball up and use. It's not quite scrap size, slash anything that it is truly a scrap can stay. I think maybe I should weigh some of these too. Okay, if it's less than 60 grams, I am considering it scrap. If it's more, then it's not. I think that's fair enough. All right, I'm gonna use this bin here. Oh, hello. I'm gonna use this bin here, and then this is where the scraps will go. Now, for these tiny little scrap pieces, like they're really small scrap pieces that I can't really use for big projects, I am thinking of two things. I think I'm gonna work on a start a whatever scrap basket. So it's just gonna be a large basket that I can work on until I feel like it's big enough. And that'll be good because then I can mix a bunch of variegated colors, solid color, whatever, throughout and not have to worry about it all matching because it's all just going to look like a big mishmash type of thing at the end anyway. I forgot to say that the second thing I can do with the scrap is these mini washcloths. There's like two sizes, a mini and a normal size. And I want to still focus on function and form with these cotton yarns and make them into things I'll actually use, wear, or give as gifts. So still in the theme of being intentional. But the thing with these scraps is that I do still have balls of yarn that match these, like a few of these at least. Not all of them. Like I think I have another small one I just saw of this mango color. So not all of them, but just a couple of them do have some base color that matches. I'm going to try and match those up first. It would probably be a good thing for me to try and ball up all of my yarn so they're not just messy skeins. Well, that sounds like a lot of work. So maybe we can do that little by little. Because what if I'm playing yarn chicken and this tiny little scrap is what saves the day? Who knows? Okay, I need a break. So I'm going to take a break, put this stuff away, stuff you're not seeing, and then I'm going to show you something else. So this right here is that scarf that I mentioned earlier. I made this with cotton yarn with that pink color that I have tons and tons of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh how much yarn this used, how much cotton yarn with a 5mm hook this used, and then I think it'd be a cool way to use up some of that variegated yarn I have, if it's enough. Let's just boop, place it on there. 57 grams. If we have 57 grams of yarn, then we should be able to make another one of these scarves. So I think that's going to be my stash buster project for variegated yarn and solid yarn, obviously. And then I'm going to show you something else too. This is my finished but needs end sewing in bag. This is that sweater that I was mentioning for my birthday. But this was another stash buster project I made on my trip to Pennsylvania for the holidays. And oh, it was the first time I'm looking at it since finishing it, well, mostly finishing it at least, as you can see. But I think this will be a really good stash buster project. This is the kelp bucket hat from Passionate Kelsey. I think that this is going to be my main stash buster project for solid yarn. It doesn't use a lot of each color, but look how cute that looks. And this is with 6 colors, so I did 3 rows of each color. So pretty much if you do multiples of 2 or 3, you have a cute little color combo here. And obviously the more colors you use, the less of each color you'll need. I had made this in this black, white, and gray, but I did also make it in a different colorway that is in the Frogger Finish bin. So we'll get to that eventually. But basically these bucket hats, those scarves, and bandanas, which I've made before and I'll show on the screen now, are going to be my main stash buster things, gift things, etc. And perhaps wearables, some like bonnets and sweaters, maybe, even for myself, and eventually a scrap basket. So with all that in mind, I think we will have a good yarn de-stash this year. So I actually finished this hat. I was almost done with it. Just needed to finish up, well, still have all these ends, and I have what I'm currently working on, which is cute. I like the colorway. This one is with 2 colors, and I haven't done one with just 2 colors yet. This is cute. Zach actually picked out this colorway, so I'm gonna keep working on that. I also have this scarf in here because I was like measuring it, playing around with some stuff, and 2 in progress scarves in here. I have one in regular black cotton lily sugar and cream yarn, and then with crochet thread in gold, and it looks really pretty. It's coming together about, I think this is just about halfway done. So we'll keep going on this. And I've got one barely started in a variegated colorway. See how we like that. I also got 2 new crochet hooks in size 9mm and 10mm. Since the largest size I had at the time was 8. I wanted something to work up those thicker yarns, so I figured this was a good add to the arsenal of tools. Hello. I worked on making some mouse pads this morning, one for an order and then a few others because they've just been selling kind of well. Oh, I gotta fix this. So I'm gonna sit over here while my studio room airs out a little bit, and I'm gonna watch some YouTube. Just a little bit of a mental break after making some stuff. Any other updates? Not really. My package is on the way. I'm just here waiting, and I'm not sure what other new products I'm gonna be working on soon, but we'll think about that eventually. But yeah, I'm gonna work on this scarf. It looks so much more gold than black on camera. I feel like in person it looks a lot less gold. Okay, let's keep going because I want to finish this eventually. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough of this thread to do like a full length, like as in like a double wrap around. Let me show you. This is where our scarf is currently at. So if I start decreasing around here, it'll be more like an ascot kind of situation. So like a smaller profile scarf.
I've seen so many artists craft a mode to create.
So, okay, I'm gonna put my mic on my water bottle so I have a little stand. So this is the full length type of scarf. It's made so you can kind of wear it like open, or you can like tighten it a little bit and like give it a little tie here. Even though it's kind of awkward. It's still a little stiff. I haven't blocked this. Or you could kind of wear it like a little more of like a traditional scarf, one up, down, or just like this. And I'm making this specifically for my grandma, which she's that girl. She's an it girl. And I don't know if she would really wear like a full length one like this. Like maybe like this. I also don't love these holes here. I think that's from the increases. Doesn't have it as much on this other side where I decreased. I don't know. If I did a border, you wouldn't be able to see it very well. Whatever. Yeah, so this is what we have. I'm just gonna tie my hair up because it's getting in the way. So this is where we're at with this one. So this is the halfway mark, and this is where the decreases happen. So I could, in theory, just like start decreasing, and then it would be like a more subtle type of scarf. I might even decrease it, take out a few rows, and then do it. Like if you fold it over and like tucked it in to like a sweater, it would still be like kind of, ooh, it's kind of nice given like fancy collar. Or you could still tie it. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to do. Because I don't know how much this will stretch if I block it. Because it's mostly cotton. So it's not, like, I'm not expecting that much stretch, you know? Here, let me put this in here so it doesn't keep unraveling. In case it gets stuck in my hair again. I want it to be a surprise, so I don't want to like ask, but I think I should play it safe just because, again, I don't know how much of this I have left. You can, if you can see the cardboard, I feel like we're getting a little light, and the decrease rows is still like a solid, like the solid amount. Like it's this much still to crochet. I think I should just eh. Okay. I think maybe I should play it safe. I'm at 44 rows of the middle section. So maybe I go down to like 40 rows and then decrease. I really don't want to decrease 14 rows of work. Uh, I'll let you know what I decide. Since I want to use the kelp bucket hat as a stash buster, I thought it would be a good idea to do a little bit of science, a little bit of math, to find out how much yarn each color uses when I have a 3-color combination. So this blue hat was my test. So basically I just weighed the balls before and after. And after doing this, I thought it would be a good next experiment would be how much each row uses for when I do larger color combinations like the rainbow one I made. So the next hat we make, I will be taking even more data down. It's pretty fun when you can make the craft a little bit more planned out. That is the end of today's video. I do hope that you enjoy because there are lots more coming, lots more crochet vlogs, work along with me type of videos. Let me know in the comments what you thought while watching this, or maybe even if you're working on a project, maybe you want to share what you're working on. I do have a community tab for subscribers as well if you want to share stuff there. That's all I have for you today. Stay hydrated, stay cozy, and of course, stay creative. Check this out.